So the Habs have a brand new assistant coach, and they have a big game coming up against the Boston Bruins. All right, welcome back, everybody. So we're back here with the franchise mode with the Montreal Canadiens. We've simmed through the month of October. We're off to a relatively decent start for the Habs, 7-6-1, and we've led up to a massive game against the Boston Bruins, who have an almost identical record as us, and we're kind of trying to stay relevant within the Atlantic Division. So this is a must-win game this early in the season for the Habs. Now, a couple of changes have been made to the Canadiens and to the Laval Rocket, just in terms of lines and coaches. So for the Canadiens, there is a new assistant coach on board, and let's take a look at that. We hired a new assistant coach, Jan Pavlovsky, and the reason we went ahead and hired him was because, if you can see here, he has an A+ on the penalty kill, and I wanted to get an A+ on the power play as well, but I mean, special teams in general are really important as an assistant coach role, and an A+, at least on the penalty kill, I think is good enough for now. Eventually, we're going to have to upgrade him and get somebody who's really good on the power play too. Now, we're still looking for that goalie coach in the NHL, because that position right now is vacant, and I can't find anybody suitable for the team. I can't find anybody who wants to coach the team as well, which is kind of weird to think about. Nobody wants to coach Carey Price. I mean, it could be a bit of a daunting task with how good he is, and you don't really need to teach him too much more. You can always improve him, but I mean, he is that good, so it is a daunting task for them. But right now we have our Polak as the AHL goalie coach. I'm going to keep him down there. Roman Polak. Okay, so he is the same name as the current NHL player, Roman Polak, but he is coaching the goalies in the AHL. I was thinking of bringing him up right now until we found a goalie coach, but I am going to keep him down there right now because I think those goalies need it more. All right, now let's take a look at the changes made to the lineup for the Laval Rocket. There were a couple line changes made based on performance and based on who I want to get more ice time. And Nick Suzuki has moved up to the second line center, which he has replaced Jordan Wheel, who has moved down to the wing, which I think right now is good. I believe Jordan Wheel played on the wing for the Canadiens last year for a decent amount. He's just a very fast player, so I think he'll be good there. He may be making his way up to the NHL eventually. You know what? Actually, I'm looking at this right now. I'm going to change this right now. Jordan Wheel should not be on the third line. He should be playing wing with Suzuki. But the reason why, that's why I didn't do it. Now I remember. Because when I brought Jordan Wheel up here, you can see that the chemistry had a -2 overall effect on both lines. If I put Jordan Wheel on the first line, boom, I'm going to keep that for now, move him. And we're going to have to do this because I think chemistry is pretty important, and having Alexandre Garnier on the fourth line may help a lot. And then we have a +1 overall with this line here, moving Riley Barber down to the second line, and then moving Jordan Wheel all the way up to the first line. I think that's going to be a good offset, and it's better than having a -2 or even a -1 overall effect on the lines. But those are the big changes, and as well, I believe Nick Suzuki, the #1 center on the power play with Jordan Wheel and Nick Cousins. So this is a pretty good line for the AHL, I think. And then just before we advance through, we'll take another look at the Canadiens lines right now. So got Domi, Drouin, and Gallagher as the top line, and all three of them are having a great start to the season. They're all firing, which is good. We have Deneau and Byron. Byron, he has had a really slow start. There may need to be a change if he doesn't pick it up through this next month. He may be demoted down to the third line, maybe bringing somebody in for the AHL. We'll see how McCarron and Armia does. McCarron was the guy that I brought up because he was killing it in the AHL. I brought him up, and this may be the year he finally gets over that hump and becomes an NHL player that everyone was hoping for. And you have Kotkaniemi centering that third line with Lehkonen and McCarron. So it's just a nice young line. Just the young guns, hopefully, going to step up and make things happen on that third line. And then you got Poling, Matthew Pekka, and Joel Armia on the fourth line. All right, and now we're going to take a look at the revenue generated right now. And to my surprise, the Canadiens are nowhere. Even the Leafs are 17th. So the Canadiens are 25th in revenue generated. Now, who knows what this actually means? Because maybe the pricing of my stuff is a little too low. Maybe I need to increase the pricing so that I can have more revenues. Being 25th in the league, it's kind of interesting, especially for the Canadiens and the amount of sellout stuff they have, the amount of merchandise that they sell, all that kind of stuff. But national popularity, apparently I'm third in national popularity. I don't know who the Canadiens would be under. Maybe the Leafs and... No, it doesn't even make sense. The Canadiens are probably definitely 1 or 2 in national popularity in terms of fans. And team prestige rank 5th. So that's where we are right now there. And the Bruins have generated the most revenue, followed by the Nashville Predators. And realistically, the Nashville Predators being second doesn't surprise me too much, because they have a small market, but they sell a lot, and they have crazy fans down there in Nashville for the Predators. Now, once again, before I jump into the simulation of the month, I want to see if there are any trades out there that would be worth looking into right now. The thing with the Canadiens is that they have nobody that is really taking up too much salary for what they do. They don't have any, unless I can somehow trade Carl Alsner, get him shipped out. He's in the AHL, just eating up space for the young guys and just making $4.6 million. There's no one else right now I want to trade. I think this team right now is young and they're good, and I want to keep them intact, and they're having a decent start to the season. But you know what? I will actually do that. I will see if anybody will take Carl Alsner and his contract off of us. And unfortunately, nobody wants anything to do with Carl Alsner, which is what I thought. And it's good, because this at least shows you that this trade finder that they've put into this franchise mode is legit. Because in real life, nobody would be taking Carl Alsner right now. Nobody would be taking that contract. Nobody would be trading anything for him. So this is legit, and it's cool to see, but also sad for the Montreal Canadiens. All right, so I just wanted to browse the trade block, see if there's anything that I want to make in terms of trades for the Canadiens. See if there's anything that can help upgrade the team, if there's any young talent, if there are any draft picks, stuff like that. The Canadiens are young. I don't really want to get any older players. So there's nothing there. I probably won't do anything, but let's take a look. So the Ducks, so they have Brew, second round pick, and okay, so I don't want anything to do with that. Wow, okay, so the Coyotes are trying to ship out a bunch of old talent. You have John Morrison, who's a great defenseman, 32 years old, though, not somebody that I want to bring on the Canadiens right now. Olakowski, again, another good older defenseman, 82 overall. And then Demers, a top 4D as well, who is also 31 years old. None of these guys I would want to trade for, not right now in their career. All right, so the Boston Bruins, they have Halak and 2 first-round picks on the board right now on their trade blocks. So, interesting. The Boston Bruins, first of all, are, I think, right now tied with me in the division, or 1 point below me in the division. So, these first-round picks, depending on how the season plays out, may actually be very valuable. Then you have Yaroslav Halak, who, as we all know, was a star with the Canadiens during that one playoff run when they beat Washington in the first round. If you want me to bring Yaroslav Halak back to the Montreal Canadiens, let me know in the comments below, and I will make a trade to bring Halak back to his glory days with the Habs, and I will trade for him. Probably will see if I can just swap Kincaid or swap something light for him, but I will make a trade for Halak if you guys want to see Halak come back to the Montreal Canadiens. Goshen, Scandella, Wilson, don't want any of these guys from the Bruins. Hamonic, Brody, or Frolik. I mean, I've already been offered Hamonic and Frolik in one trade, and I said no to them. Brody is interesting. He's 29 years old, probably still has a lot of time, at least 5 years or so, but I just still 29. I don't need to bring in Brody right now with a $4.6 million salary. That's just like another Carl Alsner move on my team. Carolina. All right, so James Farmer, don't want him. Killian, don't want him. Now this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Honka, who is a 19-year-old defenseman with elite potential, and they're looking to trade him. I wonder why they're looking to trade him. Do they not think he's going to pan out? This is somebody I would make a trade for. For sure, I would make a trade. I know he's only 65 overall right now, but he'll be in the AHL. He has elite potential, and maybe in a year or two, he'll be closer to 80 overall. Could really help the team out. I'm going to scout him to see. Okay, well, he is my scout. I'm going to scout him. And I'm gonna, you know what, screw that. I'm gonna make an offer for Honka. I want him on my team right now, the AHL. So what are they looking for? Let's see. Players on the block. So those are guys on the block. Those are their guys on the block. Status is hopeful that they can get traded. You know what? You know why they may be trading for him? Because they're 2-9-3. That may be why they are trading for him. All right. So this is going to be hard to get. I'm going to have to trade away some good talent, young talent to get him. I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. Maybe I can offer my first round draft pick just for Honka. I mean, he does have elite potential, but his stats right now are not very good. He was drafted in the 3rd round, two-way defender. He has 1 assist in 14 games played. +4. Fits in the following lines based on Coach Easter's scheme. Top 4 defensive pairing. Will do whatever it takes to win on a winning team, but lacks loyalty. Ooh, he wants out. And Tony Honka wants out. Did I take a chance on him? Who knows what I'm going to get in that first round, and who knows if I'm going to make the playoffs this year. Let's see if I can swing this. Trade accepted. So I traded my first round draft pick for Antoni Honka, and you guys probably think I'm crazy, but you know what? That elite potential for me is worth it. Is worth it because in 2 to 3 years, he's 19 years old. He's 19 years old. He's gonna be. I mean, he's gonna. If he lives up to the elite potential, he's gonna be an 85 plus. All right, we're gonna go ahead and simulate this game. We want to watch it. It's a pretty important game. We'll just go to the next period. Oh, the Canadiens start down 2-0. 2-0 after 2. They're getting outshot 23-12, and they lose 3-1. So that is a big loss for the Montreal Canadiens right now. Meaning that draft pick that I traded may be worse and worse as we continue on throughout this season. All right, so Honka right now is in the Finnish Elite League, and he's not showing up in any of my roster moves, so I don't know where I can find him, but I'll eventually have him. I mean, he's 19. He wasn't going to be playing right now anyways. I'd like to have him in the AHL, and I'd like to also eventually get him to the NHL. But I mean, he's an elite, like I said, elite level defenseman. If you look at my defenseman right now that are elite, you have Shea Weber, who has an 87 overall. I'm hoping within the next 2 to 3 years, Honka will be pretty good. We'll have to wait and see. This could be a trade that backfires, but it could also be a trade that really pays off, because what are the chances you're going to get an elite defenseman in the first round of the draft? I mean, it depends where you draft. If I'm in the top 3, I'll definitely be getting an elite defenseman, but let's say I finish in the middle of the pack. You could potentially get an elite defenseman, but one that will be as good as Honka, who knows? All right, so let's sim through the remaining month of November, and let's get through to December. There's another game against the Bruins this month, which is going to be pretty big. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of December. The Canadiens are 13-12-2. They have improved slightly over their 7-7 record pretty much at the end of October. So they are doing okay. I mean, if you look at the schedule, they started off pretty damn slow. They beat Dallas, but then they lost 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 4 in a row. They lost 4 straight games and managed to turn around this month, and then pulled off 3 wins in a row, losing 7-1 to the Senators, who are surprisingly having a great year, losing OT loss to the Rangers, and then getting 3 more wins in a row, a big win against the Boston Bruins, and then beating the Devils and the Flyers. All right, now in terms of team leaders for the Canadiens, Drouin's having a redemption season right now with 23 points in 26 games, 10 goals, 13 assists. Gallagher's having another good year, 8 goals, 15 assists in 26 games, 23 points. Domi's having another great year, 6 goals, 17 assists, again 23 points in 26 games. Then you have Tatar, who's having a Tatar season. I mean, 8-8, not bad. Kotkaniemi with 14 points, 6 goals, 8 assists. I would kind of like to see a little bit more production out of him in his second year, especially with his talent. No, 12 points, 5 goals, 7 assists. Weber, 12 points, 4 goals, 8 assists, -11 though, which is not good. And then Deneau as that center that does it all, wins faceoffs, plays great defense, -10, not good. Tatar, -13, oof. Poling, hey, it's not bad. His rookie year, pretty much. 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points right now. Lekkonen's season, 5 goals, 4 assists, but -2, which isn't good. Paul Byron has yet to score a goal in the 2019-2020 NHL season. He has yet to score a goal, and he's -15. This is something that needs to be looked at. because there could be somebody who could come in right now and start scoring goals. He may need to sit down for a little bit. Armia, 8 points, 3 goals, 5 assists. Mete, and then we just have the bottom of the point get. Oh, McCarron. Okay, so McCarron's played a month now in the NHL, and he's back to McCarron ways with 2 assists in 13 games played. Okay, so there is some disappointment here for sure. McCarron, Byron. I would say Shea Weber being minus 11 is kind of not something ideal. Take a look at the AHL. Nick Cousins. Looks like Nick Cousins is getting the call. 22 points, 5 goals, 17 assists. Hudon, 20 points, 9 goals, 11 assists. Ulison, 19 points. Willette, 18 points. Jordan Wheel, 13 points. Nick Suzuki, 5 goals, 8 assists. Not bad. In 24 games played. And that's 13 points. That's not bad for him. Carl Alsner even has 11 points. Wow. Okay. This is a good little quick breakdown. So we're going to have to adjust these lines. Then we're going to have to head to the next month in the next episode. So let's look at the lines first for the Laval Rockets. Who are we going to bring up? Because somebody's getting scratched on the Canadiens right now. Okay, so Nick Cousins is getting the call up. He's on a one-way, so I can't send him back down. But you know what? I think he is going to be staying. Jordan Wheel also on a one-way, so I can't send him back down. That's the issue. If I take these guys up, I can't send them back down. But right now, Paul, I don't know if I need both of them. You know what? I'm going to just call up Nick Cousins at this point. I think it's risky to call up both. If I take that back, because if I'm going to have to put Paul Byron back in the lineup eventually, and having to send both down could be risky because I don't really want to lose either of them on waivers right now. So I'm going to keep Jordan Wheel in the AHL, but Paul Byron is getting the scratch at least a month because I'm doing this on a monthly basis. He has to pick up his game. I mean, you can't be going 0 goals in 2 months of the season and expect to stay in the lineup, especially with his previous production. He doesn't score a crazy amount of goals, but he can definitely score some goals. Now we're going to have to promote Verone, and we're going to switch Suzuki back to second line center. We're going to put Jordan Wheel on the left wing. We're going to promote Audette, and we are going to have to dress a player. Well, Riley Barber, obviously. He was coming off of injury, so that's an easy move, which changes everything for me right now, at least. I can put him back here, and then I can throw in Riley Barber. Throw in Riley Barber on this line, which increases their overall chemistry, which I like. We got to go to extras. Riley Barber will be the extra. We got to go to special teams. Oh, they're still... No, we're good. We got to go to special teams. And Riley Barber will be the special team player. He's going to be playing the off wing right now, though. And I want Nick Suzuki out here. I want Nick Suzuki to get as much play as he can get. Then Nick Suzuki will also be centering on this 3-on-3. I'm going to throw Riley Barber in on the shootout. Okay, so the AHL lines are set. So let's get to the NHL. Defense right now is good. Petrie, Weber, Sherratt, Mete, Olin, Riley. You know what? I'm going to switch Sherratt and Petrie because they've been negative, and it hasn't been good. So Sherratt's going to be moved up to the first line defense. And then let's see our offense. First line is on fire. Paul Byron's getting the scratch. And Nick Cousins is getting the promotion. So Nick Cousins is getting the promotion. And he's getting a big promotion right now, playing on that second line. I'm going to keep him there because I like that chemistry. He's going to be on that second line with Dano and Tatar. And then on the power play right now, Kotkaniemi's on the wing here for some reason. I mean, I don't mind him on the wing there, to be honest. I like that line. I'm going to give Poling some time on the power play. And then on the 4-man power play, we have Domi, Gallagher, Weber, Drouin, Kotkaniemi, and we're going to put... Is Tatar out there? Yeah, he's out there. So Kotkaniemi and Tatar with Petrie and Lehkonen on D. So here's the Canadiens lineup right now. Domi, Dano, Kotkaniemi, Poling are the centers. Gallagher, Cousins, Armia, McCarron, right wing. Drouin, Tatar, Lehkonen, Pekka, left wing. Defense, Sherratt with Weber, Petrie with Mete, Riley with Folin. And if you're wondering, Christian Folin is in right now because Kulak is actually hurt, which I don't think is an upgrade or a degrade or an improvement. You know, they're pretty even, so that's good with that. Okay, so right now let's see where the Canadiens are in the standings. In the Atlantic, the Canadiens are in last right now. So right now they are not looking great in terms of making the playoffs, but they're fighting. I mean, like, they are only 2 points out of 6, 3 points out of 4th, and 5 points out of 3rd. So they're still right there. This is a crazy surprise. The Red Wings are first with 41 points. The Leafs, I mean, next year are going to be good, so that's not a surprise. The Sabres, but everyone's fighting for that 3rd spot. And then if we take a look at the Eastern Conference, where do the Canadiens sit? Canadiens sit in 12th. So they were in 11th last month. They're in 12th. They fell a spot, but they're still fighting for that playoff spot in the Atlantic Division and potentially a wild card spot, because they are only 2 points out of 7th, 3 points out of 6th, 4 points out of 5th, and 4th, 5 points out of 3rd. They're only 5 points out of 3rd place right now in the Eastern Conference after 2 months. So there you have it. The Montreal Canadiens, although they're in last place in the Atlantic at the end of November, they are still fighting. They're close to 3rd place in the Atlantic, and they have made some roster changes. They need some guys to step up. Paul Byron has been scratched, and we'll just see how they continue to progress. Traded away their 1st round draft pick in the upcoming entry draft for a potential elite defenseman. We'll see how this pans out. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this franchise series, let me know in the comments below. Let me know some moves you would do. Maybe I will feature some comments or feature some moves that you would do, and I will do them actually in the franchise mode. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.